It's about 9:30 here at Provo Peaks, and the lines aren't super long. The workers say that they are expecting them to get longer, especially with the lunchtime rush. The CDC says 1 in 6 American women will be sexually assaulted. But for Utah, that statistic is much higher at 1 in 3. So the ordinance sparked a ton of debate, and this is the first time Mayor Curtis says that people have actually reached out to him to veto something. Bridalveil Falls is one of Utah's many hiking attractions. But let me tell you, this is no easy task. So many big rocks, super slippery. So how do Utahns do this every day?
And I didn't understand what was happening or why it was happening.
Emily Yoshikawa knows sexual violence all too well. Once as a child, once as a teen.
Being okay and then feeling broken again.
And then once again as a young woman.
I don't know if there's some point that it stops being a part of why you are the way you are.
Emily felt lost. She felt confused. She kept her mouth shut about the attacks.
Even if there is a system there and nobody knows about it, it's almost as useful as it not being there at all.
She says she does not even know where she could have gone.
You just feel stupid.
Or what she could have done.
So you don't know what to do or where to start.
Courtney Hughes is out to help others just like Emily.
That's something that's very important to us, near and dear to my heart.
Hughes is the director of victim services for Provo Police.
It's the criminal justice system. It's not the victim justice system.
The department recently received a $500,000 federal grant to help people like Emily, victims of sexual assault or domestic violence.
There's no judgment. There's no shame.
The CDC says 1 in 6 American women will be sexually assaulted. But for Utah, that statistic is much higher at 1 in 3.
I feel like there's still nothing I can do about it.
All we're here to do is make you as safe as possible, as comfortable as possible.
The grant adds a new team to the existing Provo Police Victims Advocate Department.
This proposal will cover additional personnel.
Another advocate, a prosecutor, and a private detective to only handle sexual violence cases are a part of this team. Hughes says she's excited because this will make the process easier and faster.
Really starting their healing.
Emily sees the prospects of the new grant.
I don't think that attacks will necessarily lessen, but if you can help the recovery, I think that that's huge.
The BYU student says the support she's gotten from others is what's really helped the most.
It didn't happen by yourself, so why would you get better by yourself?
She thinks the free counseling services also covered by the grant will help tremendously.
I think the healthy way of dealing with it would have been facing it.
Emily says she used to cope through humor.
Whatever works, I guess.
Tried blocking out the past.
It's a lot easier to forget it ever happened or pretend like it never happened than to actually face problems.
It's been 5 years since the last attack.
In my mind, I shut it out and it wasn't there and it wasn't true.
And not long ago, Emily realized she needed help.
This isn't going away. This keeps happening and something needs to happen.
She says she now feels hopeful for the future.
Because in the moment you are helpless, but that doesn't mean you always have to be.
Bronwyn, Burkhardt, 11 News. For the election began a few weeks ago, but today is the day we find out who will be the nation's 45th president. Before that happens, though, I went to check out the lines at one of the voting polls in Provo.
I didn't really know what to expect. I guess I expected it to be a little longer.
I say 1 or 2 hours, just because I thought that the lines would be super long.
It's about 9:30 here at Provo Peaks, and the lines aren't super long. The workers say that they are expecting them to get longer, especially with the lunchtime rush. At about 8:30 this morning, the lines were out the door. An hour later, and they were about half as long. People say it took 20 or 30 minutes to cast their vote.
We expected a little bit more just because people come in before they go to work, and then it kind of, slack off until about lunchtime when more people come in, and then again in the evening when people get off work. It just kind of depends on the time of the workday.
People at the poll say they did expect the long lines. They planned a couple of hours out of their day to take the time to vote. Some just got lucky with short lines. From the voting booths at Provo Peaks Elementary, Bronwyn, Burkhardt, 11 News. Sweaty, steep, slippery. Where some look on hiking as a woeful journey, others find it as an adventure waiting for them. BYU freshman Nathan Tinney says there are so many reasons to go hiking, like conquering the slot canyons or reaching the peak of the mountain and feeling accomplished.
Bam! You can't stop me.
Heading up a mountain certainly might sound like an intimidating task, but many Utahns get out and head east to hike up their rocky friends for some fresh air and a chance to get some exercise.
The more I feel like I'm dying, the more I feel like it's worth it. Because if it wasn't hard, then it wouldn't be fun, you know?
Bridalveil Falls is one of Utah's many hiking attractions. But let me tell you, this is no easy task. So many big rocks, super slippery. So how do Utahns do this every day? Some map out their hikes like Joshua Stock. He and his family came from northern Utah to go on this hike because they'd heard of the waterfall.
An escape, like just all of the things we deal with in our lives, just to get out in nature and to kind of be away from everything.
Short or long, straight up or flat, people all over Utah head to the mountains for some quality time with the rocks. They may not be moving those mountains, but they certainly take advantage of the natural wonders around them.
You want to, at the end, you should be like, holy cow, that was crazy insane and worth it.
In Provo, this is Bronwyn Burkhardt, 11 News.
I'm not sure if that's good or bad.